Hello guys, this is Green Red Bulls and I'm responding to NBA Jerry's 30 teams in 30 days contest. The team, as you guys can see on the screen that I'm going to be talking about, is the Los Angeles Lakers. I've been a Lakers fan since I've started watching basketball. I live in the area. I'm about 45 minutes away from LA. I've been to a couple of regular season games, no playoff games because the prices are absolutely ridiculous. And I don't have a well enough income for something like that. But I do watch every single regular season game on TV. I'm a big fan, definitely a big basketball fan in general, and definitely a big Lakers fan. Let's start off by, obviously, I think it's known, obviously, if you're a basketball fan, that the Lakers are back-to-back champions. They're the defending champs again. So obviously, as a defending champ, we'll go right in the off season. As a defending champion, you really don't want to do too much in the off season. Obviously, because if it worked, you don't change something that works. Don't fix something that's not broke. Anyways, believe it or not, the Lakers actually did make some pretty significant off-season changes, especially for a team that's a defending champion. And the off-season changes that they did make, I'm very happy with, because one of our big problems in 2009/2010 was our bench. Our bench was very, very poor at times. It was really not. They really weren't performing up to the level they needed to perform. A lot of times the starters would play, more minutes than they should have during the regular season for sure, and that caused some injuries, I'm sure. And it's just wear and tear that we don't need on our older superstars like Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol. They're in their 30s now, or Pau Gasol I think is 29, he might be 30. But we're not a young team. We're a pretty veteran team, and during the regular season, it's very, very important, especially when you're a top team like the Lakers, that you have really good bench production. Let's see. Okay, so anyways, for our bench, our acquisitions were Steve Blake, a point guard, replacing Jordan Farmar, which is a very, very good. We'll just start with that. That's a very good swap in my opinion. Jordan Farmar really wasn't a good player for the triangle offense at all. I mean, he's a great quick point guard, and he's going to the New Jersey Nets, where the style of ball they play will be a lot better for him personally. Steve Blake is a really good fit for the triangle. He can hit the three ball. He's a scrappy defender. He's actually pretty athletic, believe it or not. So yeah, he's gonna be a really good backup for Derek Fisher, and Derek Fisher won't be playing very many minutes. He'll be playing 20 minutes. He'll obviously be the starter, but Steve Blake will be able to come in off the bench and play big minutes at point guard, which is really, really good. We re-signed Shannon Brown, which I'm very happy for. He gives us some athleticism. He's his shooting is suspect, but he's a pretty decent defender. He's very athletic. He makes big plays with the dunks, and that really can get the crowd and the team back into games, as we saw, or as we've seen throughout his time with the Lakers. And yeah, we got him pretty cheap too. He could have got more money somewhere else, but he decided he wanted to be with the champions, and he re-signed for less money. And it just shows. It's really good. Shannon Brown is a great keep. And then we got Matt Barnes as our next acquisition in the offseason, and this is a really good pickup in my opinion. This gives a legitimate backup to Ron Artest, which he did not have because Luke Walton should retire, honestly. I mean, he's just plagued with injuries. His back is given out pretty much. I mean, I feel bad for him. But regardless, we got Matt Barnes, which is a great steal. He's obviously he only signed for 2 years. I think with the second year he wanted a team option. No, player option, sorry. So he has a player option for year 2. He's probably going to, get out of that. He's basically trying to set himself up for a big contract, which I don't blame him. He's never had a big contract. And, why not do it to the defending champions, get a ring, in the process, possibly. So yeah, we got Matt Barnes backing up Ron Artest now, a small forward. Obviously a very good perimeter defender. Can really, we saw the battles with Kobe. And this is another thing. Kobe really loves to bring players to the Lakers that stand up to him. And it's it's not the most common thing when you see defender or someone defending Kobe just stand up to him and really, you know, push him and not back down. And when he sees players like that in the league, he strives to get them on his team. That's what he did with Ron Artest. He tried to do that with Raja Bell, but we know what happened there. He went to Utah, and he did this. He texted Matt Barnes. Even though Matt Barnes and him had, what was perceived to the public as a conflict during the regular season, he's, that's not going to get in the way of winning championships. There wasn't really any. But anyways, our final acquisition was Theo Ratliff, which is a great backup center. He's a veteran. He'll definitely just be a great backup for Andrew Bynum, who we know is very injury prone. So it's good that we have a good backup center. He's basically replacing what DJ Benga's role was, and I like that acquisition. And two other players that we acquired through the draft, which I'm very, very pleased with, because since we only had 2 second-round picks, was Devin Ebanks. He's a small forward, 6'9", a very good defender, a very versatile defender. He's a suspect shooter right now, but he's working on that. And then our other pickup was Derek Character, which is a power forward. He's a power forward. He's 6'9", and he is an absolute. Well, he was tearing it up in the summer league. I got to watch some of the games in the summer league. He was absolutely tearing it up, and his potential is actually pretty amazing for a second-round pick. So I'm very pleased with both those acquisitions. They probably won't get much playing time, but I mean, they're basically the future. They're basically prospects. So that's about it for the off season. As for our roster, our starters are obviously going to be Derek Fisher at point guard. We know Derek Fisher brings leadership. He's a veteran. He's a very important part of the Lakers team. He makes big shots. He's just a great person to have on the team. It was great that we re-signed him. I'm gonna say great way too many times there. Then we got obviously Kobe Bryant at shooting guard. Really needs no introduction. Then we got small forward. We got Ron Artest, which his shooting in the 2010 season was very off and on, and I expect him to definitely improve on that this season. I think he's gonna be more comfortable with the triangle offense. He's not the brightest tool in the shed, I guess you could say, and it looked like he kind of struggled to learn the triangle offense. But I mean, he's Ron Artest. He's a great defender. He's a great personality, a great teammate, just a great person to have on the team. And then power forward, we got Pau Gasol. Obviously, Pau Gasol was huge in the playoffs, huge throughout the season, just so consistent, so just important to the Lakers team. Without him, obviously, we're not winning any championships. So it's great to have Pau. And then for center, obviously, we got Andrew Bynum. And Andrew Bynum, although he was injured in the playoffs with that knee, he's had it surgically repaired for the offseason, and I expect him to have a pretty good season. I expect him to improve. He's improved every single season as his Lakers career. I think he ended last season with 16 points, 9 rebounds. I think if I'm correct, it might be a little bit less on the rebounds, something around those numbers. And I expect those stats to improve. I mean, him and Power, just there are bigs, there are twin towers, and that's what makes the Lakers so dominant is our bigs. Obviously coming off the bench, we got Lamar Odom, extremely versatile, very important piece. Very not the most consistent player of all time, but still, he's just an extremely important part. He's 6'10". He's what adds to our depth in our bigs and just makes us such a tall team. The fact that he can play any position basically, and he's a 6'10", it just makes the Lakers so tall and so hard to deal with. The rest of the bench, I think the rest of the bench is mainly our off-season acquisitions, which I already touched on. But Steve Blake, Devin Ebanks, Adam Morrison's gone. Sorry, Luke Walton, Theo Ratliff, Matt Barnes, Shannon Brown. Basically, I already touched on most of them. We're gonna have a very good bench, I think, this season. One of the best in the NBA, actually, which is amazing since, obviously last season our bench was so poor, one of the worst in the NBA. Now we're going to the best. It's a great off season for Mitch Kupchak, our GM. He did a great job. I keep using the word great. Anyways, as for what we are expected to do this 2010-2011 season, I as a Lakers fan, not to be a homer or anything, but I definitely expect a three-peat. Phil Jackson's back for that last year. He's going for that three-peat. We all know that Phil Jackson only wins championships in three. Um, the obviously, we have a very I think our team has definitely improved from last season. Obviously, we're gonna need it when we got the three amigos in Miami, and Boston's obviously still a threat. You got the Magic. You got the teams in the West. But I definitely expect the Lakers to take the number one seed in the West and make it to the finals and win. That's the goal. That's the expectation. I don't see why it wouldn't be, barring some terrible injury to a starting player. I don't see anything different from last season. I actually do expect our win loss for this season to be much better than last season. We had Kobe and Powell both injured last season, and honestly, we ended the last season on a very, very poor note. I don't expect that this season. I expect us to definitely be over 60 wins, and probably in the 65 to 67 win range is probably where we're going to be. And yeah, that would be the 2010-2011 Lakers preview. This is Green Red Bulls. Thank you for listening.